Hi everyone, Janie here, and I think it's been a while since I've done an actual card making tutorial, so today I'm going to show you how to make a slimline easel card in 2 different styles. So let's head on over to the craft table and get started. So for this first card, I'm using an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of magenta basis 80-pound cardstock from Paper Temptress. And we are just going to fold it in half. Now I've actually scored it to make it a little bit easier, but if you don't have a scoreboard, just fold it in half and use something like a bone folder to smooth it out, like so. Now I've scored it and folded it before I've even cut it to the size that I want, and this actually makes it easier sometimes. So I want it to be 4 inches. So I'm going to line it right up. By the way, when you do this, make sure the fold is on this end and the open thing is on this end. Okay? So, open thing, open end. I can't even talk right, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. Make sure it's in there good. And there we go. And now I want it to be 9 1/4 inches long. So I'm going to put that in here again and put it to the 9 1/4 inch mark. Make sure I've got it right there and cut that off. And now this is the size that I'm going to be using. And now that I have it the size that I want, I've got the 8-inch part going right across here. There's the fold at 4 inches, and half of 4 inches is 2 inches. So I am going to score it at 2 inches. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, it's really simple. You're just going to fold it in to that fold. So you're just folding it in half again. So this is half of it. Here, I'll turn it that way. It's the right direction. Okay, here's half, and then there is half. And now we have the base for our easel card. Next, I'm going to be die cutting a beautiful piece of paper that I got from this paper pack that came from Michael's a couple years ago, so you probably won't be able to find it, but I just wanted to show you in case you were wondering. So this is the beautiful paper that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using this stitched die, which is a slimline die, which means it is too long for my cutting plates. But I'm going to show you a trick that I recently shared in one of my Tuesday 2-minute tips and tricks videos. So what I'm going to do is put the die on my paper, and then I'm going to get some washi tape and use the washi tape to hold it in place. And I am taping it to the paper and not to the cutting plate. And you will see why here momentarily. And hopefully this washi tape is sticky enough, because I've used it so many times I may have to get out some fresh washi tape. But let's just see. I think it's on there pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to place it on the cutting plate. And this will work whether you're using a Sizzix or a Cuttlebug or whatever die cutting machine that you have. And I'm just going to put part of it through right now. So let me get that in there, and I'm just going to crank it through. I don't have to go all the way, and I'm going to bring it back out. And now very carefully, because you don't want anything to move. Okay, now I'm going to slide it up so that the rest of the die is now on the plate, and the part that was already cut is hanging off the other end. And I'm going to stick it back in here, and I'm going to run it through, and I'm just going to run it all the way through this time and pull it out. And guess what? We have cut a slimline card topper using the regular plate that comes with your die cutting machine. So there we go. Now, wasn't that easy? Okay, I'm not done with this piece yet, but we're going to set it aside because I have some more die cutting to do. And I am going to be using, hold on one second here. Well, first of all, I'm going to be using this rose gold metallic cardstock from Michaels. And then I'm going to be using these dancing ballerina, cutting dies from In Love Arts. And let me see if I can get them up here so you can see them. There's just a beautiful variety here, and I'm going to be cutting all of them. So let me get them all lined up on here. Oh, look at, I wonder if I can actually do this straight across. Wow, that's gonna work out. Maybe? No, I have one more. There's 5 of them in this set. And I guess I'll put this one right down here. Okay, there we go. So let's get these cut out, and then I'll show them to you. I'll lay them out and take a picture because they are just adorable. I just love these dancing ballerina cutting dies, and like I said, they are from In Love Arts, and I will have a link below in the description box to where you can find them. And I've also cut out 2 sets just in white because I want to make these really sturdy for the way that I'm going to be using them on this card, and so I'm going to be gluing them together in layers like this. So let me get to gluing those together and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all of the layers glued together. So now these are 3 layers thick and they're really sturdy, okay? And I wanted to show you that when it is just the 1 layer, it is very flimsy. And this is fine if you're going to be gluing this on the front of something. But for what I'm going to do, I needed them to be a little bit sturdier. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so remember that the card base I have is 9 1/4 inches by 4 inches. So I cut this beautiful glitter cardstock from Close to My Heart, and I cut it to be, let me get this measurement here for you, whoops, upside down. So it is 9 inches by 3 3/4. So it's 1/4 of an inch smaller each direction, so that when you put it on the card, if I could do this here, hold on a second, you'll have a little border going around it. Okay, and then the same thing with the next layer. So it's 1/4 of an inch smaller each direction as well, and it will have another border around it. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to be using spray adhesive to glue this to that layer. And the reason I'm using spray adhesive is because I am going to need full coverage on the back for what I'm doing next. Just watch. Okay, before I go any further, I can guarantee you that someone's going to leave a comment below wanting to know what this paper trimmer is I'm using. So I'm going to take a minute to tell you that this is a Fiskars Precision Rotary Bypass Trimmer, and that is a mouthful, but let me tell you, I love this thing. I've had it for years now. I can't remember how many years, maybe 5 years or so. And I love that it folds up so it doesn't take a lot of room. And you can do your cutting up to 5 1/2 inches. So if you're just doing A2 size cards, you don't even need to open this up. And then if you're doing something longer, then you just open it right up like this, and it goes to 13 inches. And it's 12 inches wide. And the blade goes either direction, and I'm not going to cut myself because it won't. And it's got this this little guard here that you can hold your paper down with. And I love that I don't have to replace the blade because it is self-sharpening, and I've cut cardboard with this, and I have cut tissue paper with this, vellum. You can cut anything. So I totally love it. Now that we've got that out of the way, I hope that's answered your questions, and I'll put a link below in the description box to where you can find one of these on Amazon. Okay, so now back to this. I have glued those 2 pieces together. They are so pretty and I love the sparkle. Okay, so I need to cut it in half. And this is 3 3/4 inches. Half of 3 3/4 inches is 2 7/8. No, yes, not even. Oh my gosh. Hold on one second. Okay, this is just hysterical. I'm the girl that's really good with math and totally forgot what half of 3 3/4 was. Okay, but I went and looked at my notes, and half of that is going to be 1 7/8. So let me stick this in here and get it lined up at 1 7/8. So let me see here. There's 1 1/2, 1 1/2, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that right there should be perfect. And, well, wish me luck. That's all I have to say. Let's see what we've got. Oh, yeah, that looks good to me. Let's check it out on the card. Okay, so they're perfect, and I'm going to glue the top piece to the top and the bottom piece to the bottom. So, let's get started on that. Okay, I'm going to be using my Beacon 3-in-1 and putting that on the back like so. And then, to make sure that I'm getting it lined up right, I'm actually going to fold that over so that I can see that I'm getting it right up against that fold, because I want it to go right to the fold, just like that. Okay, make sure that everything else is lined up where I want it. Okay, there we go. All right, now this, well, I don't have to turn that around. This one is going to go right up against it, just like that. So we'll just put some beacon on the back of this. And we are getting close to getting this card done. All right, so there we go. Just making sure my glue is not coming out. It looks like I'm putting a lot of glue on, but half the time it wasn't coming out. So let me turn this over, and I'm going to line this up. And then I'm going to open it back up to make sure that these edges line up, because we want everything to line up together but still allowing it to fold. Okay, so with that done, you see that there's this little opening there that shows. We're going to take care of that. Okay, I have a special trick, because for this card it is originally going to be laying flat like this, so you'll be able to see that, and then it's going to stand up like so. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have cut a piece of lace trim. It's got lace and ribbon, and I have cut it to fit just right across like that. Now I want to apologize right now because there seems to be a lot of light or glare coming through today, and so, you know, things are not showing up as good as they should. I mean, they do like that. So there, you get an idea right there. All right, what I'm going to do is I am going to put the glue on this bottom half. We don't want to glue it to both pieces right here. We only want to glue it to this bottom piece right here. So I'm just going to add some beacon right across here very carefully. And that way, when this is open, you won't see that space. But when it's closed, well, actually, I guess it's the other way around. When it's closed, you won't see that space. So here, let me open this back up so I can get this all lined up perfectly. Like so. Okay. So, see, that looks beautiful there? And then, when it's open, you'll see this lace trim up at the top. And I have to make sure I have it in just the right spot so that it is doing what it's supposed to do. Move that down just a tiny bit. Good thing I'm using Beacon, because even though it has a really quick tap to it, it gives me just a little bit of time to move things into place. Okay, so now we have that so far. And there we go. Better look at it. Okay, next I'm going to be taking these beautiful little dancers, and I am going to be adhering them on here. So when it's closed, it will look like that. But when it's open, they'll be standing up. So this is just one way to do an easel card. Remember, I'm going to be showing you a second way in a few minutes. So let me get these attached. And to speed things up, I'm going to do that off camera because it's really not part of the tutorial. The tutorial is mainly to show you how to make the card itself. And basically all easel cards are the same, but I haven't seen a slimline easel card yet, so I thought it would be good inspiration for you. Okay, I've got those ballerinas glued on, and see, look, they pop up above, but when it's closed, then it looks like that. So it's a beautiful card closed, and it'll be even more beautiful popped up. So what we have to do next is put a stopper here, and a stopper is what's going to keep that open, or keep the easel standing up. And I'm actually going to be using a whole strip. So I've got this: dance like nobody's watching, love like you've never been hurt, sing like nobody's listening, live like it's heaven on earth. And that is a quote from Mark Twain, and I wanted this to be an inspirational card. So I've glued that onto the glitter cardstock, and you really can't see it much on here as I'm looking at it, but I did do some inking with some spun sugar distress ink just to make the white not be so stark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding some foam tape to the back, and that will help raise it up to be the stopper. And I'm going to put it all the way across the bottom. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do 2 layers or 1. Look at that. Not all the way across the bottom. Close enough though. Okay, so let me get another piece here. I just have to decide if I think it's going to be raised enough. I like to make sure that it's really raised, because sometimes, it can go up against it and then just kind of pop over the top. But you know what? I think that's going to be just perfect. Okay, so you don't have to use an entire whole long sentiment or something to hold that up. If you wanted, you could just add a couple of little things, on the ends or in the middle, and that will work. But I wanted to raise this whole thing up. I mean, the whole length. Yep, I can't even talk straight. I wanted the sentiment to be the stopper. So, yep, perfect, just what I wanted. Let me bring it up this way so you can see it. So that's how it's going to look, and of course I'll have some pictures here at the end to show you. But I decided that I wanted a little something more with this. So as you know, we have the flower pattern on the paper. Let me see if I can get that glare to go away. There we go. So I have these little pink, yeah, they are pink, trust me, little pink roses that I also got from Paper Temptress, because she doesn't just do paper, but she does flowers and ribbons and things like that. And so I'm going to cut off a couple of these flowers here, and we're going to use those. There we go. I think I would like to put one at each end of this. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure those little wires are flattened out, because they do have wires on the back. And those are, so you can use the stems on something if you would like. And I think these will finish this card off, and then we will get to the next one. Now the next one, I'm not going to take you through the whole creating the easel part again, because we've already done that. I'm just going to show you a different way to do the top, or to do the easel part of it. So let me get those stuck on there. Oh yeah, I really like that. Pretty cool. I love the way that came out. Just beautiful. And you know what? There's still enough room here for you to sign your name, you know. Love, Janie. Okay, so I will take some pictures of that so you can see that. And now I'll come back with the other card. Okay, so here we are with the exact same card base. Okay, so again, this one is still 4 inches by 9 1/4, and it still has that fold, making that little tint. But this time, the card topper is all one piece. So I used more of those beautiful ballerinas from In Love Arts and cut out the word dream. The ballerinas I cut out in the glitter cardstock that matches what's underneath. And dream, I had a piece of metallic cardstock that was about the same color pink, and I really wanted to use that. And also, let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I know you guys are going to ask me where that dream die cut came from, and I really don't know where I got this. I've had it for years. I think I might have picked it up at Tuesday mornings back several years ago while I was visiting my sister. So I'm sorry, I don't know where to tell you to get that. But what we're going to do is we're going to attach it just to this bottom piece right here. We're not going to attach anything up here at all, okay? Just this bottom section. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to turn this over, make sure that it's facing the right direction, and we're just going to put glue on the bottom half. So again, I get out my beacon here, my beacon 3-in-1. Love this stuff, and I now have it on my fingers. And I'm going to kind of guess about where halfway is, because we just want it on half. Okay, so there we go. And again, my glue is coming out too slow for me, so it's missing spots. Okay, but there we go. Right, and we're going to turn this around. We're going to lay this flat. Whoops. We're going to lay it flat, and we're going to center this just like we would if it was just a regular card. So let me get it on here centered. Not necessarily easy to do. Oops. Let's see here. Glad you guys are all patiently waiting while I do this. Okay. I actually think I might. I'm pulling it over here closer to me. I'm trying to see the top and the bottom at the same time without getting my head in the way of the camera. Okay. So there we go. And then when you open it, that part stands up, but when it's closed, it looks like the front of a card. So that is the other way of doing this. Now, let me put the bottom on here, and let me double check this, and I'll be right back. Okay. And there it is. And I love the way that that turned out. And it says, follow your dreams. It's never too late to be what you might have been. And that is a George Eliot quote. And I'm going to put up some pictures here so that you can get a better look at these cards. Thank you all so much for stopping by today. I know that most of you probably already know how to make an easel card, so thank you for hanging in there during the tutorials. But I just wanted to share these 2 ways of making an easel card for those of you that didn't know how, and I thought that doing it with a slimline card would be fun, since I have not seen anyone do that yet, and I thought it might be good inspiration for those of you that already are card making pros. Oh, and don't forget, there's links below in the description box to the products that I used today, including a discount code to In Love Arts should you decide to shop there. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.